Considering that Thunder Bay is situated on the largest freshwater lake in the world, it is of little surprise that the area has had an active sailing community for many years. In addition to enjoying sailing for leisure activities, some local sailors have also taken part in the competitive side of the sport, claiming national championship titles and representing Canada with distinction at international and world competitions. One such sailor is Jim Cameron, who has skipped numerous Thunder Bay District Open Lightning class crews dating back to the 1970s. Over the years, he has participated successfully in races with local sailors Ross Bailey and Blair Sandberg, and individually in laser boat races. During the 1980s, Jim would meet up with Janice Allard and convinced her to get involved in the sport of sailing. Eventually becoming partners on and off the water, the pair took up racing together, with Janice also making a name for herself in the sport of board sailing. Another active sailor in the local community at the time was Charlie Spence, who would join forces with the Camerons to compete in the Open Lightning Class division. Boats racing in the Lightning Class are 19-foot, sloop-rigged dinghies comprised of a three-person crew. Governed by the International Lightning Class Association, the sport is enjoyed in 13 different countries. The competition consists of boats racing on 3 different courses set out in different formations. Having qualified to compete in the 1991 World Championships 2 years earlier, Jim Cameron set sail in Annapolis, Maryland in early June and put in a 17th place showing. Later in the month, he and his crew of Janice and Charlie traveled to Toronto to compete in the Canadian Open Lightning Class Championships hosted that year by the Royal Canadian Yacht Club. Like any sport that is held in the outdoors, one thing that can't be controlled is the weather. On that particular June weekend, Mother Nature didn't cooperate with the first day of competition, featuring winds of 15 to 20 miles per hour, gusting to 25. On day one of the competition, the Cameron crew, facing close to 30 other competitors, raced to 2 first and 1 third place finish. On the second day of competition, the Cameron crew started the day finishing 7th, followed up by a 3rd place in the second race. That meant the crew had to finish in 4th place or better in the final race of the day, which is exactly where they placed to claim the national title. The next opportunity for this championship crew to test their skills was at the 1991 North American Lightning Class Championships, which were scheduled for Newport, Rhode Island in August of that year. Little did they know that a Category 2 hurricane by the name of Bob, which was packing winds of between 90 and 105 miles per hour and producing storm surges of 5 to 8 feet, was making its way up the coast to Newport. The race directors delayed the race as long as they could, eventually running the competition in less than favorable conditions, with Janice recalling that they literally had to sail through debris to finish the course. When all was said and done, the crew emerged in 6th place overall, the best showing by a Canadian team at the event. Following their national championship title and successful North American placement, the crew continued to remain active sailors, with both Jim and Janice also serving as organizers of sailing events that were hosted in the community and as teaching instructors with Sail Thunder Bay, passing their knowledge and love for the sport on to the next generation of sailors. One of those students was their daughter Alicia, who served as part of Jim's crew at the 2007 Pan American Games in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, carrying on the tradition of excellence established by their parents and Charlie Spence on those windy waters back in Toronto and Newport years before.